So a couple of weeks ago, I did a video on what is quite possibly the most affordable finesse bait caster in the world right now, the Shimano XF50. Now in this video, we are going to be reviewing a reel that is the opposite of the most affordable finesse bait caster. And it's in one of these boxes right here. So let's get to the unboxing. So we're going to unbox one of these reels, and the other reel is going to be for later. Okay, so this is the reel that we want right here. On the right side, man, they wrap this thing pretty damn good, which is to be expected when you get things from Japan. Okay, this one's going away for now. And we have this. The Shimano JDM Calcutta Conquest BFS HG. Now this is going to be a first for me, and it's a first for me because this is the very first round reel I've ever owned. So let's get to it. Very excited about this. Okay, so here's all the paperwork. Here's the reel. Okay, you get this nice little, appears to be microfiber carrying pouch. Doesn't have the Conquest BFS name or logo on it. Kind of disappointing, but oh well. And you have 2 pieces of oil here. Now this also came in my, I believe in my ALDEBARAN BFS XG, and I don't know why there's 2, but I'll try to find out for you guys later. Okay, let's get to this reel because this is what you guys want to see. Whoa, look at this thing. Man, this thing is little. Look how tiny that palming side plate is. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys take a good look at this thing for a few minutes before I do my customary analysis and note-taking. Look at that. First ever round reel. Look how, man, look at how small this thing is. I don't have big hands, but look at that. Okay. Okay, so now that I've had a few minutes to look this reel over, let us begin. Now this reel came out about a year ago in 2017, and there are actually a lot of YouTube videos made about this reel, but there's not very many in English. So hopefully this will help out a lot of potential English-speaking buyers to make a decision on this reel if they were looking at it to purchase or not. So one thing that I've noticed about this thing is that for bait finesse or BFS, this thing is a tank. And what I mean by that is that this thing is all metal. This is the side plate's metal, frame is metal, handle side plate is metal, everything is metal. And that seems a little bit of a overkill for finesse fishing. So why did Shimano make this when they already had the ALDEBARAN BFS and also the Scorpion BFS? And I think the answer is because there is the very popular style of fishing, which is the mountain stream bait finesse fishing for trout. and a lot of Japanese anglers are using these retro round reels, which I'll leave a picture up for you guys to take a look at. So I guess Shimano decided to dip their toe into that and offer up their own round bait finesse reel to cater to those guys or any other bait finesse guy who would like a round reel, and of course an all metal reel. So for you guys who always complain that Shimano doesn't give you enough ball bearings in their reels, you can't really say that about this one, because this has a total of 13 bearings. So it's 12 ball bearings plus 1 roller bearing. And of course, this thing is made in Japan. So it carries up a high price tag. It's about at least $100 over the ALDEBARAN BFS. So let's go over the standard features. It's got the X ship, of course, the micro module gears, and these are the high-end first tier micro module gears. It's got the S3D spool, and it's got a drag clicker. Now the big thing about this reel is the S compact body, and you'd have to really hold it in hand just to grasp how small this thing is. To give you guys a better view, here is an ALDEBARAN, which is one of the smallest reels on the market, and here is the Conquest. And this side looks really small because of the S compact body. And the S compact body is basically making the palming side plate smaller than the gear side plate. So that gives you the feeling of a smaller reel in hand while still retaining the big gears of a bigger reel, and of course allowing you to have a bigger spool and bigger spool capacity as well. Something Shimano's had for a few years now, and it looks like they're trickling that to the low profile bait casters with the Bantam. So I'm going to take this time to pull the scale out and get some weights on this thing. Okay, so I got the scale out, and in hand, this, despite being made of all metal, this does not feel heavy at all. So let's see what the scale says. 7.18 ounces, so almost 7.2. So this thing is pretty light for being an all metal reel. It's lighter than a CURADO. Yeah, that's pretty surprising there. So of course we need to get a weight on this spool, and let me show you how to get the spool out. It's kind of a process here. First of all, you have to push this lever on the side. What that does, it pops open this aluminum side plate, and now you have the close and open. Now this is just if you want to pull the spool out. Brake adjustments are done on the outside completely. Okay, so you kind of pull this out. Now this is plastic, that's kind of disappointing, but I guess that's what keeps the weight down. Okay, so now you've pulled out the FTB brake mechanism. Okay, so here's the spool. Now this is really tough to pull out. Now this shows you just how tight the tolerances are on this reel and the precision. It's really tough to get the spool out of this frame because the tolerances are so precise. There we go, finally. Okay, so the dimensions on this spool are a little bit different than the ALDEBARAN. This has got a 32 by 21 millimeter spool, and here we go. It is 7.9 grams, and it does have a small bearing there, so it's pretty light. And as you can see, just like the other Shimano Finesse spools, there is a rib, as you can see by the gold color there, the anodization, that runs along the inside as a reinforcement. So it lets you run light braid on this spool, which with some other spools from other manufacturers, you can't do that. Okay, so let's go over these brakes. Now I've went over the FTB system a couple of times, but I will go over it again just for any new viewers. Now the FTB system from Shimano stands for Finesse Tune Brake. Now it's a magnetic system, which may be a surprise to a lot of you guys because Shimano, you know, generally uses centrifugal brakes. But Shimano went with magnetic brakes for one reason, and that is to be able to eliminate any kind of extra braking mechanisms from the spool, making it as light as possible. And of course, in bait finesse, the lightest spool is going to perform the best, at least on paper. So here's the magnets right here, and they interact with this unported section of the spool, just like so. Now this magnet system is a dynamic system, just like DAIWA's MagForce, and let me show you what I mean. Now there's two banks of magnets, one on this side, and then there's another bank of magnets on this side. And two of these magnets are removable, the ones that have that the letter N or Z on it. Now this system is dynamic in the fact that one side of the bank of magnets is spring-loaded. So when the spool is spinning at its fastest, the magnets actually pop up on one side, just like that, and get closer to the spool, allowing more braking during the fastest part of the cast. Hopefully you guys can see that thing pop up. And it happens on this side as well. So this system works very well. I've had it in the Scorpion and the ALDEBARAN BFS. So yeah, that's the FTB or Finesse Tune Brake system in a nutshell. And it gives Shimano the ability to make the spool as light as possible. Now they can actually go even lighter by porting out this side, but I think they probably leave that for future improvements. Okay, so now I've gone over the main features. Let's go over some things that I noticed that Shimano didn't list as a feature. Now it's got a nice drag star that's ported. As you can see, the port holes in each arm. Of course it clicks. And something to notice about this reel, as you can see right here, is the level line is stuck out really far for a round reel. And of course they did this to aid in casting distance. If you look at other brands of round reels, the level wind is usually really close to the spool. It's kind of curved along with the body. And this one is stuck out. It kind of looks weird to me, but Shimano did it that way on purpose. Now, of course, it's got a clicking spool tension. Now this is probably the cheapest reel from Shimano where you get a clicking spool tension. And it's micro clicks, so there's very little travel in between clicks. And the drag star clicks are actually more precise than even the ALDEBARAN. So they just feel a little bit more positive in hand than the ALDEBARAN. At least to me it does. Now another thing is, I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but this entire frame and side plates are machined from one chunk of aluminum, and it leaves some kind of a effect. I'm going to pick it up on the camera around here. Some kind of effect. And that's pretty cool, I guess. As you can see, the ports are beveled. That's really nice. Top ports are beveled as well. A lot of little details on this reel. Of course, here's the brake adjustment. It does not click, but it's very smooth. And here's something that's kind of cool. See this black thing right here? That's actually a piece of plastic that's kind of semi-clear. You can kind of see the gears in there. You can actually unscrew that and add grease to your gears as a little bit of maintenance. I think that might be a first for Shimano that I know of. So yeah, overall, my first round reel, I'm really stoked about it. It's just a piece of precision art. It's a little tank. But there is one thing that does disappoint me about this reel, and that is this handle and knobs. Basically, they just took the handle and knobs off of ALDEBARAN, stuck it on the highest end bait finesse reel they have, and that's really disappointing. The exact same handle and knobs. They need something a little bit more special for a reel of this price and caliber. So other than that, yeah, here we go. The 2017 Shimano Conquest BFS. Forgot to mention, this only comes in a 6.8:1 gear ratio. Let you guys look at the thumb bar. Of course, the thumb bar is very positive. This is actually rubber, this black piece. And of course, there is no kind of wiggle or slop in it at all. Tolerances are so tight you can hear that when I'm turning the handle. Okay. So if you guys waited till the end of the video on the Surinoi XF50, you'll know that I am going to put this reel to the test against the DAIWA SS Air, the ALDEBARAN BFS XG, and the Abu Garcia REVO Elite Aurora, to see who casts light baits the farthest. So it's going to be a big old 4-way bait finesse reel shootout. But since I'm going to be out there doing the shootout anyway, and a lot of people want to know this information, I'm going to go ahead and throw in the Scorpion BFS to see how it fares against its more expensive stablemates. And we're going to go ahead and throw in the Conquest BFS as well. And there's actually going to be one more reel included in that, which I'll leave as a surprise for you guys. So be on the lookout. Hopefully the weather will be good to me this weekend and I'll be able to get that done. Alright guys, thanks a lot.